Hello, my name is Jessica Hanbury, and I am here to talk to you about a very controversial issue called the Death with Dignity Act. Now, the Death with Dignity Act was first started in June of 1997 when the U.S. Supreme Court ruled that state laws banning physician-assisted suicide did not violate the Constitution. So shortly after that, October 27th, 1997, the state of Oregon was the first state to pass the Death with Dignity Act, which had 51% of voters in favor. Even nowadays, actually 7 out of 10 Americans support the Death by Dignity Act. Now, what is the Death by Dignity Act, you may ask yourself. Now, although I have never been personally affected with this, it has something that I have thought in the back of my mind. If I was ever to be put in this situation, would this be something I would consider? And the answer is yes, I would consider it. Now, I like that there are specific criteria the person needs to meet to be able to have access to these drugs. This isn't people that are just depressed or unhappy or do not have a quality of life. Now, what that eligibility is that you have to live within the current 6 states that allow death with dignity, which is California, Colorado, Washington, D.C., Hawaii, Oregon, Vermont, and Washington State, 7. And I heard that Montana was mandated by court, but this could be incorrect on the website I'm looking at. You also have to be 18 years of age or older. You have to be mentally competent, which I like that. It's not someone who is not able to express that they want this. They have to be able to say mentally and there in their bodies to be able to say, this is what I want, which I like. And also they have to be diagnosed with a terminal illness that will, within reasonable medical judgment, lead to death within 6 months. So this is not them choosing to die. This is the cancer, the illness, whatever they have that will take their lives. All they're saying is, I don't want to be a physical, financial burden on my family, and I just want to be able to go peacefully in my sleep. And I think that our animals, if they were able to talk, that they would say something like that. I love you so much. I don't want to see you so sad. I don't want to see you have to watch me suffer and have to pay medical bills a decade after I'm gone. I want you to just love me the way I am today. And I really think that this transcends that line, and that it is not, this is something that should be more accepted within other states. But there are religious beliefs that get in the way. In fact, 2014, the Pope came out with the statement that euthanasia was a sin against God. And what prompted him to say that was a huge supporter of the Death with Dignity Act was actually a woman who was 29 years old. Her name was Brittany Maynard, and she had been diagnosed with a brain cancer that would eventually take her life. Her and her family ended up moving from California up to Oregon, and not been approved in California yet, so that she was able to take advantage of the Death by Dignity Act. They got the medication months before she decided that that was the day that she would slowly kill herself. She had family all around her. She was surrounded by love and support. I have a small clip from her mother in an interview that was conducted shortly before, a few months before her death, when it was really coming out, when her popularity, Brittany Maynard's popularity on social media was coming out. People were talking about this. It was a mainstream phenomenon about what people believed in. If they believed in the Death by Dignity Act, or if they really had the religious bias against it. So, not knowing what her religious affiliation is, she had this quote that really hit home for me, and I'll have you listen to it, and then I'll let you know exactly what she says in case you missed it. So I'm gonna take the camera. I will show you this.
It's not my job to tell her how to live, and it's not my job to tell her how to die. It's my job to love her through it.
So if you missed it, Brittany's mom said, it's not my job to tell her how to live. It's not my job to tell her how to die. It's my job to love her through it. And I just love that. And I was bawling like crazy listening to these interviews and listening to what Brittany had to go through. And it's been extremely unfortunate. She did end up taking her life on November 1st, 2013, surrounded by friends and family. Her husband described it as it's a 4 or 5 step process. You have to take, pills an hour before, and then a half an hour before, and then drink stuff. The patient needs to be, or the person who's choosing to die needs to be competent enough to be able to out of focus, there we go, to be able to take the medication. So it was extremely sad to watch the information and to read about it. But like I said, if it was up to me, if I knew that I had less than 6 months to live and I had a choice to live an extremely painful life and leave thousands and thousands and thousands of dollars in medical bills that my family would have to pay off, I would probably choose the death with dignity. And I think that I wouldn't even have to think about it. Although it would be the most difficult decision in my entire life, I think it would be the right one. And I think that this is a decision that needs to be allowed in more states, to more people that want to have that, exactly that, death with dignity. So thank you very much for listening to my presentation, and hopefully I've swayed your decision just a little bit. Have a wonderful day.